This is Paul again on my journey through acoustic neuroma surgery recovery. Today is December 15th, 2017. About 6 weeks post-op. As you can see, my facial paralysis is still going strong. I still can't blink my left eye. I can't smile properly. This is me blinking. Still can't do that. The eye thing has really been a task. It gets really dried out, gets really irritated at the wrong times. I spend a lot of time with it, with surgical tape over it, just because the drops don't do any good. I went and seen an ophthalmologist about it last week, and he prescribed me some different medication that's more of a gel, a real liquidy gel, so it's not too irritating, and it seems to do a little bit better. And he's telling me to keep it taped all the time to protect my cornea, because he said my cornea excuse me, was really dry. He gave me a prescription for glasses, and he wants me to see another specialist about putting a lead weight in my eyelid to protect my eye. I think it's a bit soon for that. It's only been 6 weeks, and I've seen a lot of people get better with their eyes as time progresses. One thing I left out in my first video, which is pretty important, you may have noticed I have a lazy eye. My left eye tends to curve in towards my nose. I'm legally blind in my left eye, so I'm actually pretty fortunate that all this happened on my left side. I'm having the issues on my left side, because if it was my right eye, it would be a struggle for me to do just about anything, because the vision in my left eye is very, very, very limited. So on top of being deaf now in my left ear, I'm legally blind in my left eye, which concerns me with the balance issues and being blind and deaf on my left side. What I'm going to do as far as going back to work, I'm still out of work. I'm on short-term disability, which that's a struggle as well. They constantly want proof that I'm still disabled. I drive a truck for a living, and I also have a DJ business. But they continuously want proof that I'm still disabled, even before I got my first check, which took a month. So I have to call the doctor, and that's in Chicago, and have them fax things to the short-term disability place that made it so easy to sign up through my work and made everything sound so promising. But now that it's time to collect, they make me feel like I'm just some bum trying to get money, and they have no idea what I've been through, or most people don't know anything about this surgery. My stitches came out November 17th, so close to a month ago. It was a little painful, because I think they went an extra week before they took them out. I think I was a week too late getting them taken out, so they were kind of grown in a little bit, but it wasn't too uncomfortable. It's still a month and a half later. My incision is still scabbing up and bleeds, which it's nothing major, but it's still concerning. My incision down in my abdomen is the one that's a little more concerning, because it's rock hard and tends to stick out. So I'll be asking about that again when I go back next Wednesday. I've been going to therapy, which again, it's a joke. I'm very active. I work out just about every day, And going there and having these overweight people show me and tell me what to do is hard for me to do, especially when they set you up somewhere and walk away for 15 minutes and go eat a sandwich or gossip. And I'm saying that because I seriously watched them do it. There's a kitchen in the middle of this place, and they sit there and eat constantly. And they leave you alone for 15 minutes, and you wonder how long I'm supposed to do this certain task they're asking me to do. And I've gone about a dozen times, and I found out when I got my first bill that they were charging me after insurance like $42 every time I go, and I'm going 3 days a week. So I went there with this bill earlier this week and showed it to them, and I said, this is just absolutely ridiculous. This is more than I even pay for a copay when I go to the doctor. So I've racked up this huge bill, and I said something here has to change. I need to check with my doctor on the 20th and see. Get down. Sorry, we have two very curious young wiener dogs, which is all the clickety-clacking that you're probably hearing, and they get into just about everything. Don't ever get a wiener dog, they're a pain. So like I said, therapy is a joke. And I'm going to check with the doctor to see if it's mandatory that I go, because all the stuff they have me do, I can do in the gym on my own. I don't need their assistance. I mean, the balance stuff I can do at home, and they have me doing like the leg machine and throwing a ball, and it's all so stupid. My balance is definitely way better. It's nowhere near 100%. I still have that bell ringing feeling like I got punched or something. That never seems to go away, but it's gone away enough to where I can drive now. I don't feel it quite so much in the house unless I'm laying down and get up real fast or do a fast motion or put my head down. If I'm just doing normal stuff, it doesn't seem to affect me so much. It's when you step outside and then, just like I probably said in the first video, that everything's just overwhelming. Let me see. There's definitely some depression that sets in. Sitting at home by yourself all the time with nothing much else to do. I mean, just when you're used to working every day and then you go to sitting around at home, everybody thinks, oh, I wish I could just sit around at home and do nothing. Well, there's only so many movies you can watch, and there's only so many things you can do other than getting in the truck and going out and spending money somewhere on crap you don't really need. That part's tough. My taste has come back. I said in my first video that I couldn't taste pop, and this time of year when I'm not dieting, I like to drink pop, the last couple months of the year. And when I first tried it out of surgery, it just tasted like acid, salt, just terrible. Definitely not something you're supposed to have in your mouth, and it really isn't. But I was determined to eventually taste it again, because the best thing with pizza is pop or soda, depending on where you're from, what you call it. So eventually I was able to taste it again. But chewing is still a task. You can't put too much in your mouth, or it's just going to squirt out the side that you're paralyzed on. I figured out how to use a straw. If I put it way up inside my cheek on my right side, I can drink out of a straw. I don't like going places and talking too much, because I feel like people are looking at me funny, especially when my left eye is wide open, and my right eye is kind of, I'm kind of squinty all the time anyway, so my left eye looks like it's ready to party, and my right eye looks like it's ready for bed. So yeah, I don't like going places, especially the way I sound. I've gone to certain places where they ask for your phone number, and I'll start spouting out my phone number, and they'll ask me 2 or 3 times what I'm saying. So I really struggle with that, with people thinking I'm disabled or something. Adjusting to being deaf on that one side. If you're in a situation where there's background noise and someone's talking to you, they have to be like right on top of your ear, or you can't understand what they're saying. There was a time where I was sitting on the couch and my phone was ringing, and it was sitting right next to me on my left-hand side. And I got up from the couch and searched the kitchen, my bedroom, until I finally realized my phone was sitting right next to me, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. Crossing the street, looking both ways, 100 times, because you depend on your hearing a lot to hear if a car is coming. You do a couple glances, but you can pretty much sense there's not a car coming. When you're deaf in one ear, you're going to look 5, 6, 7 times. I guarantee it. I had a DJ gig a couple weeks ago. It seemed to go okay. I had to have a lot of help because of my weightlifting restrictions. So I had my nephew help me do all the lifting and help me get everything set up, and it seemed to go well. With the loud music, you can't really tell that you're deaf on one side because the music's so loud. So that went well, and it was kind of a last minute thing. I was told I shouldn't do it, but I'm trying to get back to normal as best I can, and that made me feel really normal that night. It was a really good time. Let me see. Like I said, I'm trying to do all the normal stuff I normally do. So I just had a birthday about a week and a half ago, so I spent about 8 hours in the tattoo shop getting more arm work done, and then the tattoo travels down onto my pec, which was a friggin' nightmare. But I figure if I can have a hole cut in my head, I can tolerate this tattoo on my chest. I've got one down my side, which was horrible. That was the worst one ever. And then my back is done, just my shoulder blades. So again, that made me feel normal to get some tattoo stuff done. Sleeping, and I don't know what it is, if it's depression or what, but I don't sleep well at all. I toss and turn most of the night. Like last night, I got up at midnight and tossed and turned till probably, I don't know, maybe 5:30. Slept a little bit more, and then I was up. Kept putting off doing this video to where now I'm 6 weeks plus out, but maybe whoever's seen the first video can maybe see some progress since the last time. Everybody keeps telling me that my face is doing better. I don't see it, but it's just a struggle because I've seen just about every acoustic Neuroma video there is, and you see all these people that come out and they're smiling and they're blinking, and it's like nothing fazed them. Oh, I'm going back to work, and not me. Here I sit, still with the dizziness, still with the facial paralysis, still with the eye not blinking. It is somewhat nice being at home, just being able to do what you want. But it just seems like no matter what I do during the day, everything's a countdown till my little one gets off the bus. I got to be home at 3:30. I got to get my little one off the bus. That's what my day is centered around. I mean, that's how boring it gets. But the gym definitely helps. Gets me out of the house and, gets the endorphins going, and definitely helps with depression. It was really bad when I couldn't drive. I drive for a living, so when I had to sit here and depend on other people, that was really tough, and I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. Yeah, I wrote some stuff down here, but I'm going through this list so fast that I'm not sure what else to say. I do want to say, I keep looking for comments on my first video, and there's not a whole lot of views on it, but, please leave me some comments if there's anything I can say to help you get through this journey. Please leave a comment. I'll check. I had one person leave a comment, and I went back to comment back, and I didn't see it anymore, so I'm not sure what happened there. It was someone saying that they were a week post-op, and their surgery, I think, was 9 hours. So if you're watching the second video, please comment again, and I'd like to hear how some other people's surgeries are going, and the buildup of getting ready to have the surgery. I mean, it's tough. It's hard to explain how you feel, especially when you're like me. I've never had surgery before, so I was extremely anxious going into something that major. I was in disbelief in the hospital that, they said, it'll get better, it just takes time. And, the first few weeks, like absolutely nothing was changing. I couldn't do much of anything. But now I would say I'm probably 50 to 60% better. It just takes a long while, and it does happen. It does get better. I just hope I can blink again one day. I hope that my face comes back. There hasn't really been any therapy for that. It's basically just therapy for balance. Like I said, my big concern now is what I'm going to do now as far as work, because I don't think I can continue doing what I'm doing with being blind and deaf on one side. So that's what I'm really struggling with now. If anyone out there has ever dealt with disability before, I've had 3 or 4 doctors now tell me that I need to file for disability because of what I have going on. And it's not what I want to do, but I don't want to put anybody's life in danger driving a big truck, cheating through the system, because it's easy to do. So if anybody knows anything about disability, like permanent disability, please leave a comment, tell me how that goes. I don't have much of anything else written down here, so I'll make another video and follow up again. But like I said, this is 6 between 6 and 7 weeks post-op. Again, this is me trying to smile. This is me trying to blink. Go back on the 20th next week to ask a bunch of questions and again give the disability people more paperwork so they can send me another check. Like I said, it's been 6 weeks. I've gotten one paycheck so far. And for some reason they're taking an extra $60 out of each one, which they can't give me a clear answer on. It's all a joke. Like I said, everything seems so easy when they're preaching it to you, trying to sell it to you, but then when it comes time to collect, forget it. It's just like any other insurance company. I hate to be Debbie Downer this whole time, but hopefully my next video will be a little bit more positive and maybe a little bit sooner. And maybe then I'll be wearing my new glasses that I'm supposed to get. I keep putting that off too. I need to go today and drop off my prescription and get those made. Like I said, please comment, ask me some questions, because I'd love to get back to you and just have conversations back and forth with people that are having the same issue as me. So I guess happy holidays to everybody out there if I don't get another video made before, and I'll talk to you again soon.